We're back, Jerry.
They said it couldn't be done, Tom.
They doubted us. They
doubted us. And yet here we are. Peace in the Middle East. Tom and Jerry Show Season 4.
It only took 4 years to come around?
Do you know what? Good things come to those that wait.
I wonder, was anybody thinking there was like a rift between us? You know, like Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy were coming to America. Were they thinking maybe the boys didn't see eye to eye?
They fell out. Yeah, Lennon and McCartney, they weren't talking come the end of it. No.
We probably hung out more and talked more during that time.
Yeah, and in all honesty, it was one of these hiatuses, Tom, that when I went back to check when was the last episode of the Tom and Jerry Show that we recorded, I had it in my head that it was at best 13 months ago.
Oh yeah, more but like no, 2013 was when we.
No, we have not recorded a podcast together as the Tom and Jerry Show in the length of the Trump presidential swing. But yeah. His term in office.
Read into that with what you may, because as two straight white males sit here talking over the internet at each other.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't that we were at a vow of silence in protest or anything like that. We forgot. We were busy.
Fucking busy, man. Busy.
You're talking.
The first time we did one, we recorded a test podcast while putting a pushchair together in your living room.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. That was like 2012, 2013. Before podcasts were cool, Jerry.
Yeah, I got 6 years and 2 kids out of that pushchair and still sold it for 50 quid on adverts.
You are welcome. There's been but like all sorts.
I got to tell you, Tom, it's so easy for us just to sit down and start talking, but we better start saying what the hell is going on here, because there's a lot of people, Tom. A lot of people that this is the first that this is the first they've ever heard, not just of this podcast, but you and me in any sort. We better say hello. How are you all keeping?
How are you doing? My name is obviously, as you may have read it below, I'm the Tom of Tom and Jerry. I'm Tom O'Mahony.
And I'm Jerry McBride.
There you have it. A couple of comedians and whatnot who have, came together a long time back. And like we've just been saying, we had a bit of a hiatus, but sure, look at.
Yeah, we are lapsed podcasters.
I do like that we did it in seasons, because it seems now like,
that we did it intentionally.
Has anything gone away for that long? Like, had a couple of seasons gone away that long and come back?
Well, I was thinking of some examples of that, and let's just say, Tom, that we don't want this to be the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull season of the Tom and Jerry podcast. There are very few examples of things that went away for quite some time and came back stronger than ever. Except the Tom and Jerry Show podcast. I mean, we, in all disclosure, folks, we had a whole bunch of episodes a couple of years ago, and a lot of people said a lot of nice things about it. And Tom, you're the man. You've been told many times, when is the podcast coming back with Tom and Jerry? And truth be known, I wasn't the holdout. I wasn't fucking holding out for anything. I was just like pure fucking lazy. Until one day, Tom, I sat down. And I said to myself, do you know what? I remember the last time I podcasted with Tom, I gave him €6 to go towards an SD card adapter from a mini SD thing. And that was on the last day we recorded the podcast. And fuck me if I didn't get me value for money out of that.
You're a fucking man hand by, I tell you what.
I was like, I didn't get my €6 worth of a micro SD adapter. So I got on to Tom and said, Tom, we got to get the show back on the road just to get me money's worth. It was galling me. It was absolutely galling me. But no, I mean, in all honesty, I didn't think. I'm delighted to be back, and honestly, for the longest time, I didn't think like the technology would hold up to an over the phone or over the internet podcast thing. Because those of you who remember the old episodes, and if you haven't listened to the episodes, please do. It won't take you long to get through them all. There's not that many. There was 3 seasons and there's a whole bunch of specials and things like that. But it's not going to take you long to listen to the whole thing. But they were all done in our mobile podcasting studio. And would you believe, Tom, that even today, when I was sitting down to record this with you, I was like, I wonder will the audio quality be all right?
I know.
Recording over the
cheek.
online. And then
The
you go back and
fucking
listen to
cheek.
the old episodes. And it's you and me driving around in a fucking 2006 Citroen C4 with the handheld recorder sitting in the cup holder, just rattling around the place.
I know.
Just banging off as we go across speed ramps and shit.
It didn't get any better when I went into the Opel Vectra either, I can tell you that.
In the Opel Vectra. And I'm here going like, I wonder will my broadband stand the good audio quality, or will people know that we're not in the same place? Meanwhile, if you go back and listen to like season 2, episode 4, there's just a rhythmic whomp, 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 whomp sound through it. And if you don't know what that is, it's fucking windscreen wipers going over and back as me and Tom drive to fucking Nace or somewhere.
The amount of times we went to a gig, and it was the exact same. Things have gotten better. Things have actually gotten better the further apart we've actually gotten. And like that, I was thinking the very same. And I was trying to convince you of it. You were like, I don't know, Tom. I gotta get this fancy mic. And I'm like, Jerry,
it's a whole lot.
Go back and listen to the ones we sound like we're inside in a fucking barrel, whatever it is. But no, thankfully.
But here we are.
Things have improved, and here we are. If you have stumbled onto this, I meant to say up the top, if you have stumbled onto this and you go, what in the name of Christ, hit subscribe. Just hit subscribe.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're going to have a bunch. Look back. There's 18 or 19 other episodes to listen to us absolutely tearing into things and whatnot. So you have at least the guts of 17 or 18 hours to just burn through. Let's be honest. A lot of people have a lot of time in their hands, and podcasts have become seriously popular, but just to lay down a marker, like a couple of hipsters, we were doing this shit before anybody. I
didn't want to say it, Tom. I don't want to say that we were the cause of the rise of podcasting, but you got to look at the dates, pal. You got to look at it. It's like Tom and Jerry show came along.
In the immortal words of Eddie Bravo, look it up, man. Look it up.
Look it up.
The data is there. It is there. We were doing it before, and we are back. I was trying to make, align us with the likes of Dr. Dre and Eminem, because coming back and all that. But realistically, I don't think there's a point.
No, and do you know what it is? Do you know what we've got right here, Tom? Do you know what we've got right here?
Tell me.
We've got what is known as a soft reboot.
Yes. Yeah.
We got a soft reboot. This is when you take something that was done before, basically do it again, but keep the same characters and most of the same segments, so that fans of the old version of it can kind of come along and it sits in continuity. But if this is your first day out, if this is the first time you sat down to listen to the Tom and Jerry podcast, you've missed nothing. And we'll fill you in on anything you have missed. But the rest of it's there for you if you need it.
I love the idea that there's some Tom and Jerry show anorak out there. You know the way people love like anoraks into comic book guys? They love obscure shit that nobody's heard of. That's hidden down the back of the virtual sofa. And they're going, I actually know about these guys. I have t-shirts printed. I love to find some bloke in like Kazakhstan, absolutely loving and going out of his mind, running up the main street of the village when he hears that episode 4.
Season 4, episode 1 is dropping. Well, I got news for you, and we'll not get too bogged down in nostalgia. But if you are one of these long-time Tom and Jerry fans, I'm not going to drop a whole pile of inside jokes because we don't want to lose you. We don't want to lose new fans within the first 10 minutes of it, because they're talking about shit they talked about 4 years and I don't have an idea what they're talking about. Exactly. But I must say this, Tom, enough time has passed between the last episode that we recorded of the Tom and Jerry podcast to today that Hansfield train station has become a central transport hub for West Dublin. It has become an absolute essential point of transport for West Dublin.
I'm not saying...
Now that's saying something.
I'm not saying that you're not kind of responsible for that kick up the arse that they got, but I'm kind of saying you're responsible. Go back and listen to it. Maybe was it season 1 or season 2 you gave out? You ripped into that train station.
Tom, I'd say soaring property prices are what caused...
Oh, that would be it, yeah.
Are what caused that. I'd say profit margins on unbuilt apartments crossing a certain level... is what spurred massive development in the area.
I hear you. So do hit subscribe. Like we were saying, there'll be a bunch more of this stuff coming down the track. Because continuously I was constantly getting messages going, when are you going to get it together? When are you going to get it together? And it was just trying to align the stars and whatnot. And you can't rush a good thing, as we both know. You can't rush a good thing. So I think that's enough of the hellos and all the rest of it. People can ask any questions. Follow us on all usual platforms. You know what I mean? At this stage, you'll most likely have known who we are. We were just being polite in the possibility that somebody might show up that we don't know who we are. Essentially, we're all wearing name tags, lads, and we all know each other.
Exactly. It's like bumping into an old girlfriend or boyfriend and you haven't seen them in 10 years. And like, you know who they are, but at the same time, you feel just the need to just straight away go, I have a job. I'm doing well.
Well, I think the fire was definitely ignited when we did the special over on my own podcast, Buckshot, when we did the special on...
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Hit the div. The fire was relit and people, the traction, pardon the pun, but the traction that got...
And a mere 6 months later, here we are.
Here we are. Even the man himself, Marty Moon, was like, did you have a podcast together? I was like, yeah. Why the fuck aren't you still going? I was like,
we fucking do now, Marty. Well, no, now. Tom, I know you said that you can't rush a good thing, but with that being said, we better get this fucking get the show on the road.
So we're back, everybody. You're all very welcome to Season 4, Episode 1. I am Tom O'Mahony. He is Mr. Jerry McBride. Now, I think we should just kick straight off.
We kick straight off. The format of the show hasn't really changed. After all these years, we still tackle it segment by segment. Mm-hmm. And although we have some new segments, Tom, because the old ones had just flat out run out of fucking steam, some old things still prevail.
Yes,
we still have our opening segment, which is unchanged since episode 1 of the Tom and Jerry show, and it's still with us all these years later. It's a segment, Tom, that we call...
Giving Out Yards.
What is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women. That is good.
Giving out yards. Look at that. We're back.
Who doesn't love giving out fucking yards?
Oh, my good God. I love it. I love it so much. Just to hear that.
Technically, Jerry, we have physically made a living at giving out yards, whether it's through one medium or another. That's technically all we've been doing for the last 10 years.
We have given out to China and back. That's how many yards we've done.
Topical.
There you go. The long way around. Well, Tom, here's what we're going to do. Every week, one of us will tackle a subject, and it is your honour, sir, as they say in golf. I'm going to pass it over to you to give out yards. What can I say, pal? What are you giving out this?
It's... I think anybody who's listened to it in the past, whether you know it or you don't know it, you're brand new. The reason why myself and Jerry clicked day one, unlike an awful lot of comedians on the circuit, was that we come from very similar backgrounds. Jerry and I, in one form or another, had worked in the construction industry.
That's right.
I was out on sites. Jerry was in the hardware side of things. And
I was selling, you were buying, Tom.
Exactly. Now, for the longest time, I'm open to all sorts of things. In my old age, I've actually softened, and I feel that young people, there was a period I went through where I was like, what are these young people doing with these? What are they doing with their trousers down around the back of their arses? And then all of a sudden, the trousers start coming up, and now it looks like their ankles are having a row with their socks. I don't know what's going on. But I thought there was one bastion of fashion, shall we call it, that was never going to be tampered with. It couldn't be. I just didn't see how the crossover would ever happen. For years, you would have sold a lot of workwear. Am I right, Jerry?
I would have done, yes.
What was the brand that you held typically?
Well, there was what we had and what we sold, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a brand called Caterpillar which flew off the shelves because it was budget priced and nice, and it was good. And then there was another brand which was a step up, which was a slow seller because it was more expensive, and that was Snickers.
Of course, Snickers. Yeah. Dickies.
And Dickies is another one, yes. Actually, we sold a lot of Dickies boots. They did good boots.
They did. Now, there was a crowd, you could only get it every so often you could get it, but it was an American brand called Carhartt. You know Carhartt?
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody's seen it. You'll see it in movies. It shows up everywhere, and it's always some bloke splitting blocks, whether it's Hugh Jackman or The Rock. Some fellow who's been smited to live out the country in a rough style. With a face full of beard and all the rest of it. And I have Carhartt workwear still to this day. Doesn't let you down. I have a pair of chainsaw trousers Will not.
You've got chainsaw trousers.
I have chainsaw trousers. Yes, for a brief period I was cutting timber. And to this day, they're probably 17 or 18 years old, but you could put a chainsaw to them and it will actually ravel up the blade and stop the blade before it will cut a man's leg. Carhartt, the strongest gear you can wear for working.
I'm sorry, Tom. I thought this segment was called Giving Out Yards. I'm hearing nothing but positives here.
I know. Well, I'm taking you one way. Only to reveal the curtain. And because we now have the medium, now I know people are listening audio here, but Jerry McBride, because he's such a descriptive artist, he's going to explain what comes up in front of you here. Now, as we said, right, like I was just saying, I love Carhartt. I love Carhartt gear. I've loads of it. What I'm wearing right now, this is a gilet by Carhartt. But I know I can work in the fucking thing, right? Now I'm going to show you something, Jerry. You see that man there? Can you see that man?
I see that guy there, yeah. Okay, let me describe it to it. It's a guy wearing his Carhartt gear, and he's a working man. He's swinging a hammer. He's got his hard hat on. I don't need to go through this guy's pockets to see that he's got a safe pass.
Yeah, well, this is it. And that's all I ever thought. I thought it was the last bastion that nobody was going to fuck with. That we're going to leave work where with people working. Now that goes all, even Carhartt, they make chef gear, they make nurses gear. I thought that's it. It's
working clothes.
That's what you do. And then all of a sudden, this shit starts rolling out, Jerry, and it starts getting ruined. Have a look at those two.
Well, Tom, now come on.
Now.
All right. Now, like we say, podcasts are not the most visual medium, but like
this is what has happened.
If I could describe it, Tom, it's do you remember when Boyzone first showed up on the Late Late?
Yes.
And fucking, what do you call him, Shane Lynch had just a pair of dungarees and no top on underneath.
Yeah.
What am I fucking looking at? What am I looking at, Tom?
What are you looking at? You're looking. If those two cunts showed up at the gate of a site, do you know what I mean? Just imagine those two showing up at the gate of a site. So what we're looking at are two. They've got that model-esque depressed look on their face, you know, because heaven forbid you'd be fucking happy because you're making a few quid for standing around in front of a photographer. I mean, sure, is there an easier day on the fucking work site? There isn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, the fuckers look like East 17 the day they were told they had no more money.
Yeah. And a year later, after that, this is what they actually ended up looking like. Go on, hit me with it, Tom. What the fuck am I looking at? You're looking now, what has happened to Carhartt brand is they've stepped away, not just entirely, but it would seem that they've absolutely sold out and they've gone down the fashion route and they've paired up with people that are going to take their stuff to the high street, or people, i.e. urban wear, they're calling it. Now, rappers have been wearing it for oversized jackets for years. You let them off because they like the whole gritty vibe of the thing and they came from the street. And
the Timberland boots and all that kind of crap.
Yeah, but look at those two fuckos. Now,
well, I mean, like, they're... Like, are they, like, is it workwear? And what would he?
No, like, it's not. It's not workwear, Jerry. Oh, well, either one of those two fuckers we're looking at there now. Would you let them work at anything? No, you wouldn't.
No, I mean, like, you know, there's places in the world where they would be allowed to work because they're clearly fucking children. Where labour laws are a little bit more lax, these lads would get to work. Like, and we'll post this on the Twitter page so you can get a look at it. Absolutely. But one of these guys is wearing a pair of dungarees, but they look like working dungarees. So like what a mechanic would wear, or I guess a painter would wear more. So like a pair of painters dungarees. And the other guy is just wearing, to my eyes, white jeans and a white jacket. And no top, of course.
Neither one of them have decided to wear a top. Now, I've eased you into this, Jerry, because technically you could argue that what them two fuckers are wearing is actually workwear. And you go, all right, fair enough. You know, you're definitely not going to be wearing Converse onto the site. Because this is where it really goes fucking sideways. Now,
well, before we go on, Tom, the other picture that you see of the other guy, my one grievance with that other lad, the other lad at the back, you know, a height of a grievance of this is that the lads are standing in a room, okay, and they're all fucking depressed looking and nothing's going right in life. But like for scale, you can tell exactly how tall one of them is because he's fucking elbow height to a windowsill.
I'm looking at it myself going...
His elbow, like standing up tall, his elbow is at a fucking windowsill. So you can extrapolate from that, and that fucker's 4'7" tops.
And the two of them have two wispy little moustaches, and they got paid for that photo shoot.
So what you're telling me is Carhartt have completely sold out their chainsaw wear and all that kind of goodness.
There you go.
And now they're flogging fashion. I mean, look at Tom. I'm not going to give out to anyone for making money. But fuck.
But there comes a time, Jerry, when it's, they were going fine. They didn't need to do this. Now look at what we're looking at here now. Just look at ball bag number 7, we'll call him. He's number 6.
Do you know what I'm getting a lot of here, Tom, is like, and you could probably tell me more than this, was like when Land Rover stopped making Land Rovers.
This is exactly it. This is exactly the fucking story. Once upon a time, I remember speaking to a guy who was an older chap. He worked up the north, and he was an accountant for Land Rover. Proud as punch he was, and he started to explain to me this. He says, well, the new Land Rover has this heads-up display on this window screen that when you go over a steep humpback on a field or a humpback bridge, it has cameras underneath the car that will actually project up on the windscreen to make it look like there's no bonnet so you can see the road. And he was delighted with himself, and I went, why?
Why?
He went, what, excuse me? I said, why do you need that? Sure, if you're on top of the fucking bridge, sure, you're on top of it. There's no more looking. You've already done the climbing. And the guy was crushed. He was crushed. I went, listen, if you need that shit to be out driving a Land Rover, then you need to give up driving Land Rovers. If you need all that shit clapped onto the side of it.
Like, this is like what we're looking at here in terms of Carhartt workwear. What we're looking at here is fucking heated seats in a Land Rover. Is what this is.
Worse again.
Do you know what I mean?
And purple and orange heated seats in a Land Rover.
I will say some of these guys are wearing like orange gear, and I could see, all right, you could wear that on site because that's high vis and you wouldn't get crossed.
Yeah, technically. But I think the reason why I threw up this picture in front of you was to show that it was actually a fashion show early this year. A little earlier, we're talking early January, this fashion show went out.
Of all years, Tom.
And all lads, sad as could be, walking around like actual models in workwear. Like, what's next? Are they going to start wearing hard hats? Do you know what I mean? Just like, where does it stop, Jerry, is what I'm asking.
And like a couple of things, Tom. Well, not a couple of things. Fucking hundreds of things, Tom. But these first couple of things, they're all wearing sleek footwear. So they're wearing these sort of Converse-looking footwear, and they're all cool in the gang. I got to ask you one thing, straight up. Is that steel toe cap Converse that's on him?
I'd wager it isn't.
Well, then he can't wear it on a site.
There you go.
So what the fuck am I looking at here?
Well, look, you said it earlier on. You can be guaranteed that not one of those fucking lads has a safe pass. There's no rhyme or reason as to why any of those lads will be wearing Carhartt. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like what we're looking at here, Tom. And I know this is a podcast, so nobody can look along with us. But just please go along with us with this. We're looking at workwear that seems to have sold out for fashion.
Yeah.
And to my eyes, it's not that fucking fashionable, Tom.
It's fucking rank. It's rank. You'd be better off sticking with the original gear.
It all looks a little bit TK Maxx, and I like TK Maxx now.
TK Maxx has its place in society. It does.
But it all looks a little bit fucking thrown together. You know, it's like there's one guy here, and again we'll put all these podcasts, but top left there, Tom, in the blue.
Looks
in
like
the blue
a reject
jacket
from fucking Postman Pat.
You know what he looks like? He looks like he looks like he had to go to a funeral that he didn't have a suit for.
Again,
and it was just like, you know,
put with the socks.
Put on whatever you have that's good clothes. You know, it's a funeral you're going to. Put on whatever you have that's good clothes. I don't have a black suit. Just whatever you have that's good clothes. Put it on you.
Oh, my sweet suffering Jesus. And that's it. I don't mind fashion houses doing fashion thing. I don't mind workwear crowds doing workwear things. But what are you fucking doing? Like, I mean, it's. I'm trying to think of an analogy. You know what I mean? Are they wishing they were in construction? Like, what are they trying to say to somebody? Like, because
who are they selling this to?
Oh, I suppose people who
they're not selling it to trade. They're not selling it to tradesmen.
No. But I can't imagine people want to pretend to be. This is the thing. It's confusing me so much that it doesn't make any rhyme or reason. I don't know. Who are they trying to pretend they are? Like, it's like literally wearing, I don't know, dressing up like a bad version of a nurse and walking around, like, you know, like, not
because if you're a tradesman, and you do a hard day's work in your actual workwear, your actual Carhartt workwear, the last thing you want to do is just go home and get into your good Carhartt workwear.
Exactly.
It's not like, you know, I got my work Carhartt and I got my going out Carhartt.
Well, that's it. It's like buying a van and never needing a van. You know what I mean? Like, But yeah, putting alloy wheels on the van and putting fucking spotlights on the van, but never using it as a van. Just driving around going, I've got a van.
It is vexing. It is vexing. I mean, like it is like seeing someone wearing. I don't know what would be worse, Tom. Carhartt selling out and making fashion wear instead of workwear. Would it be worse if people just started wearing Snickers workwear as fashion, as it is, and started rocking out to the clubs wearing Snickers trousers and like, what would be worse? There's none of it fucking good, Tom.
No, there's no. You're after upsetting me there now because I don't know which one is fucking worse. But I do. Yeah, do you know what? I can nearly accept if people were just wearing their workwear out because you go, all right, you know what? Maybe your old man was a fucking tree surgeon, or you know your mother was a fucking mechanic. Who knows? And you're just trying to pay homage to them, and you're wearing actual. But now they've just ruined it. There's oversized. I didn't go into the depth, Jerry, because this is episode 1. I didn't want to fucking absolutely make a keel over with a stroke.
Well, Tom, how many more of these do you think we have in us?
Trust me, just go down the rabbit hole, people. We'll put, like Jerry said, we'll put those pictures up on the Twitter page, the Tom and Jerry Show Twitter page.
It is vexing. It is very vexing. I genuinely don't know what would be worse, but I do remember there was an American band, they were a girl band, I believe, called Fifth Harmony.
Oh yeah.
And they had a song called Work, and I wouldn't know this from a hole in the ground except for I've seen the video of it where it's all these young ones and they're dressed up like they're doing workwear, you know, so they're wearing overalls and they're wearing rigger boots and shit like this. And it's the video of it is really funny because they're doing things that like some dance choreographer said, just do some work moves. So one of them has a lump hammer and she's just hitting the side of a JCB.
I remember that.
And she's just there hitting the side of a JCB, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing, love? What are you doing? Who would pay you to do that?
That was actually happening on a site, and your man who owned the JCB, if it was your father's JCB and you rounded the corner and some wagon was clattering it with a fucking hammer, he'd fucking throw her into a fucking dike somewhere.
He'd find a use for that JCB fairly quickly, so he would.
But this is the thing, it's not being used right in any manner or means, and it almost takes the piss out of people who are fucking blue collar hard working people a small bit. I think it does anyway, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, here's what I'm going to tell you, and I don't know nothing other than what you've just told me, but here's one thing I can tell you for absolute certainty, Tom.
Well,
there's no blue collar working man can afford a stitch of that clothes you're after showing me.
Oh no! It's way
because
above.
I'm sure that's like $1,600 for a fucking body warmer.
Yeah. Like there's jackets, like they have these puffer jackets that are the full length puffer jackets that they're making now by Carhartt.
Yeah.
And it's, lad, ridiculous. That they killed 3 seals just to make every one of them. Like just,
I don't know. It's a little bit upsetting, and it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's the appropriation of a workman's wear or a work person's wear.
That's exactly it. And I don't want to get too
let's not get too serious. That's not what this podcast is. No. But like it's like if someone dressed up as nurse fashion or doctor fashion, and started going around like, you know, it's a doctor's lab coat, but it's fashion, you know, it's an Armani doctor's lab coat, so it costs like fucking a whole month of a doctor's salary.
I'm just trying to think other professions that would be wearing stuff like, you know, like scuba divers gear. Like, are people going to start wearing like scuba, you know, when it gets to
fashionable scuba gear,
fashionable scuba diving, but not for scuba diving at all.
Oh God! And like, Tom, as you say yourself, Carhartt, it wasn't like their fucking back was to the wall, and it's like, do or die, lads. We got to do something, or we're going down.
They had it covered. Every cowboy in
that is vexing, Tom.
Everybody was fucking wearing the stuff. Like I said, I have a couple of pairs of the trousers. Now, did I buy them myself? I did not. They were bought by the company that I was fucking working for.
But of course,
they were an awful price. It was about 120 quid for a pair of trousers, and I know the chainsaw ones were well over 200 quid.
Yeah, sure. That's just like, you know, fabric chainmail, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. But it's like, how do you? There are sometimes, and I'm open-minded to things like that. We've jumped the edge, and we've ended up in the comedy world from whatever worlds we were in before. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, there's sometimes you gotta stay in your lane. You gotta stay in your lane.
I've actually, you know what? Now that you mentioned, I could do it with a pair of good quality workwear. If there's anybody listening here, you know, the sponsors. I have a pair of work trousers. They were own brand work trousers out of a local hardware place.
For the mascot.
I don't even know what the hell name was. I know the top button went in them, and I've just been going around with them with the zip pulled up for the last 3 years. I only bring them out when I'm painting and things like this, and they are gone hard with paint, Tom. They get washed, and the paint just goes, a wash. A perfect opportunity for me to solidify further. So, when I'm putting them on, it's like fucking Iron Man putting on his trousers. It's just like...
I think PJ Gallagher is actually, I think he's sponsored by some workwear crowd. I've seen him in pictures of him in Woody's, and I took a picture and I sent it to him and went, I thought you didn't know anything about DIY. He went, I don't, but I know how to wear trousers. I was like, fair.
There's a massive injustice there, Tom. where you and I know a lot about work trousers, and I've spent the better part of 20 minutes slandering work trousers.
Oh, listen, I had way worse stuff to talk about it, but I said I'd ease into fashion first.
We'd ease into it there. Well, there you go, folks. I mean, the segment is called Giving Out Yards. It's not solving things.
No.
Never expect a solution from these. Never expect us to turn around and go, and here's what we do.
No.
That's not what the segment's about.
In fact, I would love to hear people's analogies, arguments, and solutions to the situation on the Tom and Jerry Twitter page. I'd love to hear.
Bring it on.
Justification, possibly, or just total in agreement. I mean, to be honest with you, who loves an echo chamber more than us?
Oh, absolutely, Tom. I mean, I with that being said, I am open to being told I'm wrong. In something like this, if someone wants to come on and say, well, actually, you guys are idiots because that's fashion and fashion spins the world in ways you didn't even know. I'd be like, wow, shit, well, I guess there was a whole pile I didn't know about anything. Thanks for that. Thanks for that information. But those are still a fucking shit pair of dungarees on a lad that looks like he could use them as a fucking pull-through for a rifle.
This is the thing. Had they actually hired even models that looked like they possibly could have ended up in construction somewhere, but like that lad, those two first lads for sure, anyway, and actually all the remainder of the ones we saw, Jerry, they would last 3 days tops. 3 days they'd get going because they'd be eased into things like being sent off to look for a bag of bubbles for spirit level.
Yeah. Do you know who they look like? Do you know who they look like, Tom? They look like your fucking boss's idiot child.
Yeah.
That he gave a job to for the summer so that he wouldn't be lying about the house the whole time. And he comes on the site and he's fucking pure stone useless.
Yeah. Only robbing other fellas' fags and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Good for fucking nothing. But like I said, it's just troubling. It's just troubling because I can't fucking make the justification of the whole thing, and that is why I was giving out yards.
Wonderful. Oh, it's like we never went away, Tom.
Oh, Jesus, I feel better after that. I don't know, do I? I probably have a knot in my stomach as a result of giving out.
Well, I feel significantly worse, pal, so okay.
Oh, don't worry. We've got a bunch more episodes.
Allow me to bring you a problem.
Can we iron these creases out of our fucking... No, if nothing, there'll just be more furrows on our brows by the time we're done with this season. But the people want it, Jerry. The people want it. And
do you know what else people want? Do you know what was one of the favoured segments of the earlier?
It was the favourite.
The favoured segment. And it took a little hiatus, even back in season 3 of Tom and Jerry Show. But it's back for season 4 because the hits just kept fucking coming, Tom.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. It's
myself and Tom.
Favorite episode.
Favorite segment of the episode. Myself and Tom are stand-up comedians by trade, and what comes with stand-up comedy are the crazy highs, the world-breaking gigs where you go out and you have a great night out, and people laugh, and you leave the stage to high fives, and babies are thrown in the air, and everyone has a great time, and it's a wonderful time. But then you have the sickening lows, Tom.
Which is all anybody has ever asked me about when they heard I'm a comedian. They just, that's all they want to know.
Nobody wants to hear about the good times, Tom. Everybody just wants to hear about your worst gigs ever. So who are we to not give people what they want in a segment that we call Worst Gig Ever?
Now, Jerry McBride, we've had 4 years of a gap. Actually more, given that we left it off for season 3 because it was probably fucking going into the quagmire. But we have had time. We
have had time.
You and I can fucking tell you here now, I could do the whole season by myself without any input from you when it comes to shitty gigs. And there's often times when people, when I've talked with other comedians on my podcast, I've talked what makes a bad gig. And I love talking to other comedians about bad gigs because it all has the same story. It normally is down as a result of being comedy where comedy has no place. And comedy sometimes doesn't have a place. But other times, things can just go sideways for one reason or another. Jerry.
For one reason or another. I'll take this one, Tom. And again, anybody that's listened to the old podcast, they know exactly what we're saying here, that we're not going to talk, Tom, about a gig where, I went out and I told my jokes and nobody laughed at them. Because that's not a bad gig. That's par for the course. No, to make it onto my worst gig ever, it has to be a real fucking soul-grinding experience.
Oh, yeah.
And luckily, Tom, we got loads of them as well. Well, I'm going to take this one. And it's actually a gig, Tom, that predates the Tom and Jerry show. And quite frankly, I don't know how I missed it last time around. Absolutely.
This is like finding a toy that you didn't unwrap and got lost down the back of the fucking sofa.
Lost down the back of the sofa and you find it in March.
You find it and you're like, awesome. Or do you know what this is? This is the fiver in the arse pocket of a pair of jeans.
This is the old pair of jeans and you open it up. This gig, and I had to look it up, okay? I had to look through, I keep an old sort of record of gigs I didn't do. And I had to look it up, because again, in my mind, the horror of it is so fresh. In my mind, it took place like 6 months ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But in actual fact, it took place in the summer of 2011. Which makes it 10 years ago since this happened. I don't know how I ever brought this up to you.
Wow.
So, and again, it's not just, I went out and I did a gig and nobody laughed and what have you. Here's the thing when you're a comedian, Tom, and you know this as well as I do, that you do your comedy, that's your bread and butter, and you go to clubs and tell jokes, and you go to pubs and tell jokes, and every now and then you're called upon to tell jokes somewhere where, it wouldn't necessarily be. And you get people say, will you come and do a gig at my birthday, or would you come and do a gig at a wedding and all this kind of thing. Now, I've never done a wedding, and because it's one thing to ruin someone's Saturday night in a pub because you told a whole bunch of jokes that nobody liked, but it's quite another to ruin someone's fucking wedding day, so I've never really done that.
Oh, no.
But you're always on the lookout for, other ways that you can stand on a stage and do your thing, and they present themselves every now and then with hosting gigs.
Yes.
See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Tom. Our skill as comedians, not to get all very highbrow on this one here, but our skill as comedians doesn't stem from the material we use or the jokes we tell. It comes from public speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
And I gotta tell you, Tom, you'd get a hell of a fucking lot more respect from everybody, family members included, if someone asks you, what do you do? And you say, well, I'm a public speaker.
Oh, yeah.
That's an honourable trade. It's when you mention that you're a comedian, people start looking at you like you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But when you say you're a public speaker, oh, right, okay, like a motivational kind of speaker.
Well, this is what I've done.
I've gone
back.
Kinda.
I've gone back for a long period. There was almost an embarrassment, and I just didn't want the continuation of the conversation. I'd say things like, I'm a public speaker. And say, oh, fucking cool. Oh, where do you publicly speak? And I go,
comedy clubs, yeah.
But I've gone back in the last couple of years.
And in truth, Tom, I'm fucking beyond caring. But what I'm saying is, every now and then, because you have the ability to stand up in front of a crowd and talk, people want you to do things.
Yes. Yeah.
And normally they're not poorly paid.
This is it. I paid for a car from standing in a tent at the Ploughing Championship 2 years ago. I bought myself a car out as a result of it. I get you.
You'll find these things hard to turn down. And this is a long-winded way, Tom, of getting me round to the story of when I was the host and compere of a beauty pageant.
Yes. Now, I hosted one, but it was a jokey one. It was a bunch of dudes and it was for charity. And they were the most horrific-looking women. There was no effort. They all had beards and it was very, very funny. And it was all good crack and they raised a lot of money. It was very easy to compare it because the lads carried it by themselves. So right, I'm guessing.
No, mine was absolutely 100% fucking deadly serious.
Now, are we talking? See, this is why I love this because that
was 100% serious.
This
it was neither left nor right, Tom.
It is dripping down my chin right now, people. The excitement. Please tell me there was are we talking? Was it youth or was it adult?
Well, I'll take
Honey
it.
Boo Boo. I'm saying, was it Honey Boo Boo? Is what's going on, Jerry?
Let me ask you a question, Tom. Do you ever hear any fucking over 40s beauty pageants? No, you don't.
I tell you, the Keller Housewife of the Year. Do you remember that?
I do, surely. I remember that this gig was not that, Tom. All right, so how it happened, okay? was I got a call from another comedian to say he couldn't do a gig. Now you know that's a fucking bad sign, Tom.
A bastard.
That's a bad sign, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody ever does it out of badness. Nobody ever does it to ruin your day.
But possibly he didn't know how bad this thing was. Well, no, that's a total lie.
He fucking knew, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know, rule of thumb of being a comedian is you turn nothing down.
Yeah.
Because this is your job.
Yeah, and you never know when you're going to, because you don't want to become that guy who is unreliable. That's the
or
big
won't
fear.
Do a thing.
Being funny is about second or third on the list from what I've
being funny as a comedian is the least of your fucking worries.
Honestly, the thing that has propelled my career for most of the time is that I have a car and a full license.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Hey kids, if you're ever thinking of being a comedian, get your fucking license first. Trust me, that is the most important thing.
That is it. If you can get yourself from A to B, then you're off to a fucking better start than a lot of them. So I got a call from a guy that said, look, he couldn't do a gig. And again, like, your alarm bells should ring here, Tom, because
that's a red flag.
What gig can you not do? If you wanted to do it, you'd do it. Comedians turn nothing down. Comedians turn nothing down. If there's a gig going, they're fucking at it. But he couldn't do it. And it was in Leitrim in Carrick-on-Shannon. Carrick-on-Shannon and Leitrim, sorry. I got that arse was. But it was in Carrick-on-Shannon, and it was of a Sunday evening, and did I want to do it? And I looked at it, and I said, look, it's a Sunday evening, so it's not like a work night and you're going to be fucking driving across the country the whole day. And the damnedest thing, Tom, it was at 5 o'clock in the day.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like,
positives and negatives to that, because you'll be home early enough, but it's fucking bright outside.
It's bright outside, you'll be home early enough. And I goes, what is it? He goes, look, I've done a couple of them. There's nothing to it. It's hosting a beauty show. And I was like a lovely girls kind of thing. It's fucking exactly like a lovely girls thing. It's the fucking loveliest girls in Carrick-on-Shannon.
This is fantastic.
And I goes, what did they want me to do? Did they want me to do, like, you know, go up and do 10 minutes at the start and then step off and fuck off? He goes, no, you'll be hosting the show, meaning to say you're going to be on the stage and you're going to be bringing the girls on and you're going to be chatting to them. And then later on, you're going to be announcing the winner. And I'm like, so you want me to fucking Marty wheeling it? He goes, yeah, exactly. I want you to Marty wheeling it. I goes, why can't you do it? He goes, oh, I have a thing. And that was a fucking red flag right there, Tom. He didn't want to do it because fuck. Well, he's a good guy, and he's not the kind of guy that would set out to do you wrong. And I thank him for the gig, and I still to this day thank him for the gig. You know, for the experience, for the fucking experience, if nothing else.
Now, this was Carrick-on-Shannon, which is a happening town. It's a fucking stags and hens town. So were these local giddles?
Well, Tom, this is Carrick-on-Shannon 2011.
Oh yeah,
this is post recession.
This is mid post mid fucking recession too. It's small, but there's
you know, why do you think I was so eager to go to it? Right. So he gave me the contact of whoever it was. And I gave them a shout and they said, how are you doing? And I said, yeah. And they said, what's your name? I said, Jerry McBride. He goes, oh, like, would we know you? And I goes, I sincerely fucking doubt it. Ever came
do you
over
know Carrick-Macross, Steve?
Did you ever come to the Oasis in Carrick-Macross? And we might have fought. But you don't fucking know me from a hole in the ground. I'm sorry, I haven't been on TV. A statement that's true to this day. And they said, oh well, okay. Well, like, how long are you at it? And I said, like, 5 years, which was a fucking straight out lie.
How long were you at it in 2011?
2, maybe 3.
Okay.
You know, but I was just like, oh yeah, 5 years. You know, anybody asks you how long have you been a comedian, you don't necessarily have to start with your first gig. You know, I've been a smart arse for 20 years.
Yeah.
And have you ever compared an event? Have you ever compared an event? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, done loads of them. Never done one, Tom.
Fuck, they were giving you a grilling before this. Okay.
Oh, this was the interview procedure. They wanted to make sure that I could do this job, and I wanted them to be sure that I could do this job, whether or not I could do it, notwithstanding, Pat. So I said okay, and they said, "Have you any questions?" And I goes, "Yeah, look, you know, it's not the usual sort of comedy gig get up. So is there a dress code or is there anything you want me to wear? Because I was just going to rock over with fucking jeans and a Black Sabbath t-shirt on."
Because that was going to be my thing, where you go for like the old tin of fruit, where you know.
Yeah, and they said, well, no, like it's in a nightclub, but it's nice. It's going to be nice. So you know, wear something nice. And I goes, okay, like
wear something nice, sweet tits.
I don't know. And I'm here thinking, and I'm like, we joked about it a little earlier. I never thought, but it's like getting caught for a funeral on the hop, and you're like, what do I have in the wardrobe that I can wear to this? And I goes, like jeans and a jumper, how's that? And they go, jeans and a jumper will be fine. And a lot of people are going to be looking at like, you fucking bogger. You jeans and a jumper bogger. And I'm like, I'm emceeing a beauty pageant in Carrick-on-Shannon.
It's 2011. And
I'm the best dressed person in the place. So go fuck yourself.
To be fair, I heard nothing wrong with what you described there. I was like, you smart cash, I hear.
Yeah. And I said, okay. And I said, well, I had a couple other questions. I said, yeah, am I judging this? Because like, I don't, like, I'll give it a go. I can tell you,
What are the markers you're looking for here now?
What am I grading them on? Like their ability to flip a fucking pancake here?
Show us your teeth. I need to see your teeth.
Yeah, show me your hooves there. And they said, no, we don't need you to judge it. We have a judge coming for it. We have Andrea Roach coming over.
Oh, she was Miss Ireland.
She was Miss Ireland, former Miss Ireland.
She's one of the 4 or 5 former Miss Irelands that are from Tipperary. I think Tipperary is one more. Yeah, more.
She is, and I had to look it up because I knew there was someone famous at it, and I originally thought it was. I'd forget her name now, but what do you call Van Morrison's missus? What do you call the one that was married to Van Morrison? Good-looking Irish lady. And famous in her own right. I thought that was her, but it wasn't. It was Andrea.
In case you're wondering, I just want to point out a fact there. Myself and Jerry will never be Googling anything through this.
If we either know it or we don't. In this case, we don't.
This is what it should sound like in any pub. If your friend pulls out a fucking
phone to look shit up,
no.
Don't ask them right next.
Slap it straight out of their fucking hand. No.
With that being said, if you're listening to this and you know the name of Van Morrison's good-looking...
Oh, absolutely. Tweet us. Yeah.
Irish ex-wife.
Conversation, never do it.
No. So I thought it was her. I conflated the two, Tom. But no, it was Andrea Roach, standalone model of her own volition. And I looked her up on Wikipedia today to make sure it was the right one that I was talking about. It was indeed. I'll tell you one thing I don't like about Wikipedia, Tom. If you're ever looking up anyone famous and there's like other family members and they have their own Wikipedia page, I don't like that. That's some fucking. If their father or mother has their own Wikipedia page, I'm like, oh, there's fucking nepotism there.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't the case with Andrea Roach, but the school she went to had a Wikipedia page, and I don't fucking like that either. I don't like that either. I don't think, that's not a pertinent piece of information. Andrea Roach went to such and such a secondary school. Here's more information about it if you want. I'm like, no, I don't need to fucking know what about the school that she did her leaving.
You know what? Just for that now, I'm going to start a Wikipedia page for Jerry McBride, and I'm going to fucking fill it out with everything you've ever been in, and put hyperlinks to everything. It'll be blue everywhere.
Still going to be a short Wikipedia page.
Oh, it'd be lies, all fucking lies throughout it, like.
So I lands down to Carrick-on-Shannon of a Sunday evening with my jumper and my jeans. And yes, Tom, they wear bootcut jeans. I'm unapologetic. They were. I don't think they were Wrangler. Forgive me for not knowing what jeans I was wearing in 2011, but I can tell you I wouldn't have fucking paid money for Wrangler or something like that. Ramus Omo.
There we go.
And a lovely fire trap jumper.
Come here, and did you have it hanging in the back in case you spilled tea on it on the way down?
I did. I drove down in my driving jeans and my black Sabbath t-shirt.
You're learning things, kids. I tell you, I didn't promise you'd learn anything at the top of this show, but if you ever consider being a performer of any sort, never wear the shit you're going to wear on stage actually in the car, because
keep a spare t-shirt with you.
Chances are you'll spill your jambon down the front, and you're going to look like an asshole standing in front of a bunch of people.
And even if you're going into town for a few pints or anything like that, have a t-shirt in the car with you. Well, you won't have the car with you if you're pinting, but if you're one of these satchel carrying lads, which I am, throw a t-shirt into you. You never know when you get a call to go, look, I need someone on here now.
Yep.
Regardless, I'm down in Letterkenny and I meet the people that are running it, and it's a guy that owns a local nightclub. And some of his, I believe it was his daughter or his niece or some other younger lady who was sort of running the show, and she was running it in the nightclub. This is 10 years ago, so my memory's a wee bit sketchy. But I was told that there was some along the lines of fucking 28 young ones that were going to...
What?
28 young ladies were going to parade out to me.
Man, I had 10 in my head, tops.
No, there was fucking scores of them, Tom. And Andrea Roach was going to be, and I was like, is there a panel of judges like the Eurovision? He goes, no, it's just Andrea Roach just sitting there by herself. And she was in like a fucking school desk kind of thing.
What, the inkwells and all like that?
No, like the grey topped school tables.
Oh, with the lino tabletop, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
And then the crowd was made up of, I'm assuming, well-wishers and the girls' families and the young ladies' families and such like. And I do say girls when I should say ladies, but they were young. They were like 17, 18. I know you shouldn't, label them as girls because it infantilizes them and all this kind of thing. But there were, honestly, there wasn't. One of them was drinking age.
Was it like the rose or the tulip of fucking, Carrick and Shannon? Like, was there a name for it? What did she become when she was like? I'm from very near a town called Cahir, and it's known as the Fair of Cahir. She becomes I don't even believe, Tom, that it was something so regional as that. Really? I do believe that it was like a very preliminary, and I mean a very preliminary heat for Miss Ireland. Oh, right, okay, I'm with you, yeah.
Like, okay. I mean...
This is Miss Carrick and Shannon, right?
This was, a stepping stone on your way to becoming Miss Leitrim.
Okay.
Who may not end up in the Miss Ireland competition.
Yes.
Because I believe that's the thing with the Rose of Tralee. I mean, not every county has a rose in the Rose of Tralee.
No, sure. I mean, the fucking Rose is from Massachusetts. I mean,
exactly. And then you're wondering, why do they all get in, but like Miss Monaghan didn't get in this year? And there's probably a fucking...
I mean, listen.
We're like, we've only so many spaces.
Sorry, Gertrude, you're out.
She fell off in a heat down the way. So this was a small part of what struck me at the time as being a bigger machine. But what you're doing wrong here, Tom, what you're doing incorrectly here, is assuming that I knew what the fuck was going on. Because I did not whatsoever. And I said, okay, so what do I do? So, well, look, they're all going to come up and they've got pre-prepared answers, okay? So what you need to do now is you need to go backstage. You need to go over there. You need to go over to that corner of the nightclub dance floor, which is in full view of God and everybody. The ladies weren't behind a screen or anything like that, or they weren't in the backstage area. Just like there was rows of hotel seating, the hotel seating?
Yeah. On
the dance floor, pointing towards the stage direction where fucking Sean Kingston would play all the fucking time. And then just over in the other corner was all the competitors. All were just sitting there. So I went over with like a sheet of paper, and I'm fucking Scarlett that goes, look, just you go take your notes. And chat to the girls, and I'm like, okay, does anybody have a notepad? I don't have room for one in this suit. I'm sorry, I didn't bring a notepad with me. I didn't know there was going to be note taking, and normally I don't take notes. I get up on a fucking and I cut wise. So someone got me like an Aisling copybook, all right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you didn't have like headed stationery from the nightclub or anything like that, because I'm going to be on that stage with a fucking Aisling copybook in front of me.
Oh, brilliant.
The way like Marty would have his cue cards for the Rose of Tralee. I had a fucking Aisling 40-page copybook. Right, and nobody seen troubled by this, all right? Everybody was just like, everybody was dancing around just to make sure Andrea Roach was comfortable and wouldn't have a bad thing to say about Carrick and Shannon.
Yeah.
So I was told, look, all the girls have been given sample questions that they want you to ask them. So they were given like a list of 10 questions, and they've practiced 2.
Okay.
So you need to write down competitor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and which question you're going to ask them.
Oh, Jesus, right.
And that's what you need to do, so that when they come up, you don't fucking hit them with a zinger, or you don't, you don't go, out of curiosity, what do you know about lead? All right.
What do you know about fucking workwear?
It's very, very specific what these ladies have practiced, okay? So you don't fucking stray left or right from this.
Okay, yes, right, okay.
So I went over and I just said, okay, so where's lady number 1? And then she put up her hand and she came over. I said, okay, come here, how are you keeping? What's your name and where are you from? And she said her name, and I'm from whatever part of the fucking Greater Carrick and Shannon area. And I said, okay, and what's your preferred question? And she goes, my preferred question is, what's my ambition for later in life? And I'm like, look, excellent, okay. You're leaving from one thing and you're leaving from the other, okay? So that was my job, was to say, here's this girl.
Yeah.
Here's this lady's name. Here's her age. Here's where she's from. Welcome on stage. How are you keeping? What's the crack? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your
Okay, all right. So
what's your ambition? Which is the predetermined question that this
the pain in
lady...
my chest is leaving slightly. Go on.
What is the predetermined chest? What is the predetermined chest? Sorry, Tom. When you said that, I'm getting there. It's just when you said the pain in your chest was leaving. Just in my mind, I said, "Don't let it go too far, Tom. Don't let it go too far. That's going to come right back." So it is.
Oh yeah.
And then I had carte blanche to have some fun.
No, you.
That was the brief.
No, you fucking
have some fun.
You did
have some fun. Say goodbye to that lady and bring the next lady on. Okay. So once you'd done her predetermined question, you could have some fun. So that was sort of like jib jab, have a little crack, what have you, right?
You're right.
That was you were given.
Oh yeah, there's an alarm bells going off in my fucking head here anyway.
And I go, okay, so I went to the first lady and got her name and all that kind of thing. I goes, right, lovely. And then I went to the second one. I goes, okay, who is number two? Who's the number two badge? And she goes, here. I goes, okay, so what's your name? Your name, where are you from, and your age? I go, okay, what question would you like to be asked? And she goes, I've picked what's my ambition. I goes, okay, right, okay, you had 10 questions in front of you, and you went for ambition. Fair enough. Okay.
Same as the other girl.
Because the other girl said ambition as well.
Yeah.
So you want ambition as well? Okay. And we'll have a little crack with you. I'm gone. Okay. Number 3, I'm getting the hang of this now. Okay, what's your name? Where are you from? What's your age? Great stuff. What question would you like to be asked? And she goes, what's my ambition?
Yes!
Okay, see, I'm fucking... You know what it is, love. I got 28 of yous to do here now. I just go, real quick, any of yous not pick what's my ambition? And not a hand went up. Every single one of them. And here's the thing, Tom.
What were the other questions? Like, were they fucking hard?
The other questions were, what's the best thing you think about fucking Carrick and Shannon and who from the town's history do you admire and all this kind of shit. And there was the easy question, what's your ambition, right? So I'm like, what the fuck this? What am I going to do? Okay, so you know what? All 28 of you have said, what's your ambition? That's fine, okay? Yeah. And I'm not going to ask you now, half an hour before we go on stage, to start writing up new answers to the question, because that's not fair, because you're not improv comedians. You're not going to be like, here's a vase and a tennis racket. Create the scene. I'm not going to do that. Oh, we're in for a fucking long night.
I'm thinking like by 24, people are
people are in on the joke come 24.
Win. Like, I'm just wondering what I was going to say. What's Roach? Like by 2021, like, I mean, Roach is gone. That fucking check better have cleared.
Yeah.
Do you know?
So was I, Tom. So I go, look, don't worry about it, okay? Yeah. I know you've all, and it's going to be a little bit samey, but don't worry about it. I've been at this for, how long did I tell him? 5 years.
5 years.
I've been at this for 7 years, right? And I'll shore up the whole proceedings with fun and games and yucks and audience and interaction and all this kind of thing. And you don't need to worry about it whatsoever, okay? So the idea was I would go on and warm up the crowd for 5 minutes and bring on the first girl. There was 28 of them. The whole thing was scheduled to take 1.5 minutes per girl. So it was like 45 minutes to an hour for the start of it.
Lovely.
Tops, right? Then there was going to be a break while Andrea Roach fucking compiled her notes. And then it would come back to me and I would go, how are you all keeping? Welcome back to the second half. Didn't we have fun? And here we're going to read out the notes that have been compiled and tabulated by Miss Andrea Roach, and we thank her for coming and blah, blah, blah. The whole thing, second half was scheduled to take about half an hour, and that was it. All right? Right. In third place is so-and-so, and she dazzled us with fuck knows what. And in second place is such and such, and we wish her the best in her future endeavours. But going on to represent Carrick and Shannon in whatever the fuck this thing was, would you please give a warm hand to whoever she is, right? That was the scheduled thing for the night, right?
Sounds all right.
I get up. How are you all keeping? I'm Jerry McBride, as you can clearly see. And who the fuck else would I be, right? Because it's an odd thing. Like, going through it, it's an odd thing, okay? So this is the family and friends of all the ladies that are in this room, in the local nightclub, in the local town. And Andrea Roach is there, and she's a celebrity. So the only thing going through everybody's mind has to be, who the fuck is this guy?
And why the fuck isn't Roach up there giving this?
Who the fuck is this fat culture in a fucking...
Smart casual.
In smart casual, with a pair of runners on him. Right? Who the fuck is this guy? Okay, because I was the one non-local there. So, like, for the first 5 minutes of audience interaction and banter and such, like, they were just saying to themselves, is he one of the Dublin Road McBrides? Now, who is he? Who is he, McBride? Is he married to someone? You know, and you can hear, you know, it's palpable. You can hear it in the time.
Yeah.
Because nobody explained to them, you know, who I was that came to it. And if they were to sit down and explain who I was, Tom, they'd have a fucking good time doing it. Well, he's a guy that showed up because the guy that we did have booked couldn't show up. And the guy that we did have booked, well, you probably wouldn't have fucking known him either. So here he comes. And I'm like, fuck, I was like, I really wanted to warm up the crowd because I've created like an eerie hostile.
You wanted to endear yourself because you knew you were in foreign territory. They knew you were in foreign fucking territories. But you wanted to endear yourself to these people and become the lovely man that you are.
No, I fucking endeared myself to them like the fucking thing in the movie. Like they just became very wary and you know that feeling in a crowd, Tom, where the crowd get the impression that you're making fun of them.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very hard to get back from that.
It's a very serious situation for them too.
It's very hard to get
are up in a competition.
Yeah. And it's very hard to get back from that, Tom, when you're telling jokes.
Oh, no.
But when you're just up there straight about to introduce the fucking loveliest women in Leitrim, like, better comedians than me, throw it on the Twitter page what you would have done here, because it's not what I fucking did. What I did was turn around to the girl number one and go, I'm fucking sorry about this, right? I goes, okay. I goes, okay, you all know this young lady because, you know, unlike me, she's one of you. Would you please give a warm round of applause to contestant number one, whoever the fuck it is, right? And up she comes, and I'm here like, hey, how are you keeping? With my fucking Aisling copybook, right? So I was like, okay, Penny, or whatever the fuck her name is. Hey, you know, what age are you? And she goes, 18. I goes, 18? So, like, you just did your leaving cert? And she goes, no. I goes, oh, fuck me. Right, you're from around here? She goes, yes. And, you know, I'm from out the road. I goes, oh, great stuff. I don't know the townland that you just said, but I'm sure it's lovely. And, your ambition is, and she said she wanted to be a fucking vet or whatever the hell it was.
Of course.
And I goes, excellent stuff. Vets, working with animals. And I'm dying.
Wow. You're really... I don't know. To me, Jerry, it sounds like you're absolutely tearing up trees here. This is...
I'm dying here. I got nothing. I had said, and now I take full responsibility for this. I said, don't worry. I'll get up there. I'll ease them into it. We'll have a bit of banter.
Years.
You can say whatever the hell you want, okay? I've been at this for 14 years, right? And there hasn't been a crowd like this that I've been in front of that I haven't won over. And that was true, because I've never been in front of a crowd like this. So she gets up, and I'm like, fuck me, I got 27 more of these, Tom, right? So the next one came up, and again, I'm trying to converse with this lady, but they are fucking, with all due respect, rabbit in the headlights, terrified.
Of course.
Because this is what I said at the start of it, Tom. Our skill is that we're public speakers. Now, you can say whatever that is. I certainly didn't go to school for it, Tom. I don't know that you did either. That we know how to stand in front of a crowd and block it all out and be like at one with the crowd and just publicly speak, and it's no big thing to us. It's not that with me at all, Tom. With me, it's just that I'm pure fucking arrogant. I don't mind getting in front of a crowd and talking, because why wouldn't I? I'm brilliant. I can fucking... If there's 100 people in the room and you need one to talk, that's me, right? These girls are not that, okay? These ladies... They get up there and they're fucking terrified and they're trying to keep their frocks straight and they're all good. And Andrea Roach is down there with 2 foolscap pages full of notes already. I don't know what.
And it's all about McBride.
I don't know what she is writing, Tom. She couldn't possibly be writing down the details of these ladies, because I gotta tell you, name, age, where you're from, and your ambition is 4 lines tops, right? But throughout the whole thing, Andrea Roach feels like a fucking foolscap jotter, right? And the third one comes on. And the fourth one comes on, Tom. And it's just like this. And I'm fucking pissing sweat at this stage, all right? Because it's not even an MC gig where you get up and you do 10 minutes and you bring someone on and you go off and you dab yourself with a towel and you get back up there. I've been up there for 40 minutes straight and I'm lashing sweat, right?
Jesus.
And I don't even have my Black Sabbath t-shirt on. I got like a fucking... I got a woolly jumper on, Tom, and a fucking shirt underneath it with the collars coming out of it. I'm pissing sweat, right? And then, and this is fucking 6 o'clock in the day, right? And it's not a drinking occasion, right?
Oh, no.
And it's not a publicly open event, okay?
Uh-huh.
It's friends and well-wishers that came to this, okay? So every lady that was participating in the thing had tickets and asked so-and-so to come along and they bought tickets to it, right? You sold tickets to your family. It's not a walk-up, right?
Yeah.
These two cunts walk up, Tom.
It was all going fine. Go Tobin.
These two lads come in to the nightclub, pay their money to come in, right? Thinking that it's an event or something, like, and they're stone drunk at 6 o'clock of a Sunday.
I knew lads that used to go to the Rose of Tralee just for this situation, and they thought it was a great idea.
And like, you know, Tom, I'm not standing here before you as a man who's never been stone drunk at 6 o'clock of a Sunday, but I knew better than to go to the fucking Lovely Girls competition, right? And do you know, Tom, do you know what they started doing?
Oh, please.
They started heckling.
You or them?
Everybody.
Oh, give me an example. What do you heckle these girls with?
What do you fucking heckle at a Lovely Girls competition? One of them comes in and goes, hey, I can't do a Leitrim accent for the sake of me. Well, I'll just do Dublin. Where's Andrea Roach? Like, I'm looking at her. And I'm like, fuck me. Because I know how to deal with this in a comedy situation, right?
But you cannot do what you normally would do in a comedy situation.
You can't do that. No, you can't turn around and go, you're about, you know, she's at home taking a turn on your cousin because you're here and there was nothing else for them to do.
Yeah.
You know, bollocks, and go fuck off, you know? Like, because immediately, like, I'm after fucking dying on my hole here for 30 minutes, right? And in fairness, these two lads coming in and heckling gave me the perfect opportunity to swing around with a bunch of anti-heckler material that I would have only loved to give, Tom. But you couldn't. Because you couldn't start fucking and blinding in front of... There was ladies there that had their fucking grannies in the audience, right? So I had to do the tamest anti-heckle bit that I've ever had to do in my life.
Tame anti-heckle.
I had to turn around and go, excuse me, would the gentleman down the back keep it down?
Because what you want to say is
that's it.
The old line, you know, the old line, like, hey, you know, I'm working here. I don't cocks out of your mouth. You
know? Right? And like, would the gentleman down the back, please?
Oh, would the gentleman down
please keep it down. Please have a little bit of respect for proceedings, right?
In your head, you probably wanted to be down with them shouting back at
I wanted to be, I was like, lads, have you any cans in your pocket there? And the guy who was running proceedings went down and he took the two of them who he fucking knew by name across. He goes, hey, come on there, Paddy, come on. We'll take you next door to the bar now and get you a couple of drinks. As if to say, this is shite, come on with me, right?
Can I go with you? Yeah.
And I wrapped up the 28th lady and what her ambition in life was. Another fucking vet, Tom. And I said, okay.
Town to be full of vets.
Why don't we all stick around now, get some drinks and some fresh air, because I'm fucking pissing sweat here. And we'll be back in 10 minutes with the results. All right?
Wow, you have me on.
And I got off the stage and I went over to Andrea Roach and I goes, there you go. And she goes, yeah, there you go. And that was it. And she fucked off. And I was like, holy shit. All right, Andrea Roach. There's no need to be quite so mean about it, but all right. I goes, I'm having a fucking hard time here. The two of us are supposed to be professional, Andrea. You're doing your job, I'm doing mine. Let's have a little bit of fucking professional courtesy. Stay here and have a crack with me while I fan myself on the open door, right? So she fucked off. 10-minute break. Tom, we've had some 10-minute breaks in our time, haven't we?
Yeah. Which normally always turn into a 20-minute break. Like
15. You know, we'll be back in 10 minutes. 15 minutes later, give them a shout.
Yeah.
20 minutes later, anybody that's having a smoke, come on back in, this thing's starting.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
We went on break for an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right?
So now all the good work of the good promise of showing up to this place at 5, being done by 7.
Long gone. And I had ran any fucking good work into the ground over the course of 28 ladies. So you had to do like, welcome on stage, and that was her goodbye. Now, welcome on stage. Oh, goodbye. So these people have clapped, right? Between me coming on, me going off, and each of the 28 ladies, do your sums. They've clapped 58 times in an hour, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they're fucking done. They're bollocks, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't know what judging is going on. Because Andrea Roach fucks off away somewhere, right? She wasn't talking to me.
Did you get a look in her books? If her food scraps that she was filling out?
No, I said I have an Aisling copybook here if you want it.
There's nothing in it.
Well, she fucked off, and I hung around to present the winner, right? We waited and we fucking waited and we waited. And I'm doing Andrea Roach a disservice. She was nice. When she came back out, she was nice, and I took a picture with her for my own books and such like. I'm a total fucking mark for that.
Somebody is totally going to show her this podcast.
I was like, sorry, yeah, come here. You wouldn't get a picture of myself there with Andrea Roach. How are you keeping? And she was nice. She was nice in that regard. So I done her a disservice. She was nice. She was nice, but like she was fucking done with listening to me after an hour.
You would have been done with listening to you after that.
I was done with listening to me by girl 4. Hour and 45 minutes goes by.
Yeah.
And I'm just sort of fucking kicking my heels down around the back. It's like, you know, I don't know if you've ever been in a nightclub in the daytime when there's nothing on top.
Sad.
Like, it's bleak.
It's bleak.
You know, it's got that sort of fucking badminton court feel to the ground.
It's got a fucking smell off it. I've done a few. We filmed a few things before. I was in Coppers for 6 hours from 11 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening. And it's filming in there. And it was fucking bleak. I stuck to everything. I was stone cold sober. It was,
and there's just something grim about the shutters down on a bar.
Oh yeah.
Do you know? It's just eerie. It's just not it. Nothing about it's right.
Some things that are not supposed to be seen. When you know what I mean?
It's got that fucking eerie, dreamlike quality.
Like seeing a Nana's bra or something. You're not supposed to know, see, or even conceive those fucking thoughts. And
remember this: I'm in a room with about 200 Leitrim people, none of which like me. So, like, you know, an hour and 45 minutes doesn't fly, is what I'm telling you. And then I hear bump, 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 bump on the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, with the results, would you please welcome Andrea Roach? And Andrea Roach takes to the stage. And she goes, how are you all keeping? It was lovely to meet you all here. And you've got some stunning talent here. But, you know, there can only be one winner. So we've narrowed it down to 3 places. Would you welcome, please? In 3rd place, she was number whatever it was. It's, you know, whoever it is.
Right.
And I'm at the back going like, wasn't I supposed to be doing this? And then maybe they're going to bring me on and I bring on number 1 or some such. And it was a welcome, please, the contestant in 2nd place. Would you welcome, please, whoever it is? And she came on. And then finally in 1st place, and I was like, if they're going to call me, they fucking want to do it.
I love that. Like, you still think you're important.
And I sort of sidled my way up to the stage, Tom. So I'm like at least in front of the crowd. And I'm looking at the crowd going like, how are you all keeping? I'm still here. And Andrea Roach sort of gives me a bit of a side eye and she goes, and in 1st place, she wanted to be a vet. Would you please welcome whoever the fuck it is, right? And she takes to the stage, and I'm at the side of the stage, and I just sort of lean in and give a little clap as if to say, I approve, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
like,
seeing in my eye.
I approve. This is the Jerry McBride seal of approval.
Yeah.
And then I give it sort of a Bez thing. I give it the...
Like she actually conferred with you during the break.
Oh, nothing. No.
That's right.
And anybody could see that I was fucking sitting eating a pack of smoky bacon potato down the back when Andrea Roach took to the stage, and I came up like wiping my face, going like fuck, hold on. And the whole thing took like 3 minutes. Andrea Roach, hello, how are you keeping? Thanks for coming along. Wonderful talent here. Please welcome your 3rd place, your 2nd place, and in 1st place is this. And I'm here giving it like sort of a Bez, sort of like putting my hands up and up like this as a cheer, yay, well done, everyone, like, you know.
Oh, now I'm getting fucking cringe.
And then
here's the heavy cringe coming on now.
And then the third girl, the winning lady comes on and accepts her fucking crown or rosette or whatever it is and gives no speech, Tom, because, you know, she maxed out her word limit on fucking I want to be a vet. And fucks off. And Andrea Roach fucks off through the emergency exit, and she's fucking gone. And then all the nannies and grannies all disperse, and I'm just fucking standing there, and the organizer comes over me and shakes my hand and pays me and says, oh, good evening, wasn't it? I goes, yeah, what? That was it.
So you hung around eating fucking smoky bacon crisps for an hour and a half.
That I paid for. That I paid for.
They weren't.
No, and it wasn't. A couple of things you could go.
So you could have been gone nearly 2 hours ago.
An hour and 45. I could have been fucking home. But whether it was like, we got to keep this lad around here to announce the winners, and Andrea Roach says, nah, you know what, I'll do it because fuck it, I'll do it. It's no big deal. I mean, or someone made the decision like we can't fucking possibly let that sweaty bastard. We can't do it.
Made and where you're going to. But in fairness, you hung out and you got your money paid. That would have been the cruelest of the whole thing. Had your man fucking docked you some money. Granted, they did charge you full price for the crisps. But what I'm saying is, at least you got fucking paid. I've been in a couple of those situations where it has been taken out of my hands because they've kind of went, I think everybody hates him. So, yeah.
Well, no, I got that, but I'll tell you one thing, Tom. It's long fucking spent, but the memory still remains. That is why it is this week's worst gig ever.
Very well done. Well fucking
And you know what? I bear no ill will to anybody involved in it. And I hope those ladies all became vets. I really do.
Well, it's the
hope
place
they fucking made it, Tom.
Oh, it's the place to fucking bring your animal by the sounds of things. Anyway, if you are anywhere in the Leitrim district, it would seem everybody is now a vet. Carrick and Shannon is going to have the first ever drive-through vegan takeaway in the country. There you have it.
I'm fucking delighted for them, Tom.
And anybody tagging, please don't at Andrea Roach. They definitely will. By all accounts, she's a lovely woman. But but she was absolutely lovely. And if you were one of the ladies who took place in that, and by some manner or means you fall across this podcast, feel free to tag us and say I was at that, and that guy was a fucking asshole. He was and he fucking stank crisps the whole way through, and he didn't know what the hell to do. I'm open to that criticism. I will take it. I know that I did not bring my A game to the beauty pageant that I was I claimed that I could do because I'd been doing beauty pageants for 19 years. That is something I was given a piece of advice if you interviewing, and it was the only piece of advice I've ever been given that was technical even to do with interviewing somebody on a stage, is that always have a fresh enough breath because you have to share the microphone with them.
Gotcha.
Because I remember being interviewed by it was actually for a television sting, and the woman hosting it, she's a stand-up as well, but she's fond of very smelly particular type of tobacco. Gotcha. And the microphone was fucking rancid all day long, and I was with to keep reshooting this thing, and I won't hold anything against somebody if they want to smoke something, but at the same time, oh mother of Jesus! So I can only imagine. What did you have on the way over?
Well, listen, Tom, before we go any further, I just want to say one thing. I know the segment's over, so I shouldn't keep talking about it.
I know, I shouldn't either.
But you keep mentioning a microphone, and I don't believe I did.
What do you mean you don't believe you did?
I don't believe I mentioned a microphone.
There was no microphone?
No.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph Christ. The whole way through this, I thought you had a mic and you were back and forth with the mic. No? There was no microphone. So
I had to project. Which the ladies did not know how to do.
Oh, so already they're shy and now didn't have a mic. Jerry, that was like a fucking crucial part of the whole show.
I want to be a vet.
No,
you want to be a what? Sorry, I thought I told the gentleman in the back to refrain from outbursts.
Oh my God.
Tom, get me the fuck away from this segment.
Well, we will, of course, because what we tried to do year on year, I say year on year, at least season on season anyway, is try and come up with a new one. And Jerry is in
every vernal equinox.
If we have two roles when it comes to driving this podcast, it's me bugging the shit out of Jerry to try and get this podcast actually made. But the real brains behind this is Jerry McBride, because he is one of the most creative, noisy people when it comes to fucking making things creative and beautiful, and you have created some of the best and loved segments that we've had. And it's
a gift and a curse, Tom.
You know what? It's great though. It's great. You throw anything at McBride, and he will polish it and send it back to you some way, right? It might be perfect, but it'll look fucking better than what you fucking sent over.
We'll get it there. We'll fill in the rest, so we will. And that's how we come to our third segment, which is a news segment, Tom. Brand spanking, I think, is what.
Yeah, tell us all about it, Jerry.
Well, Tom, here's our new segment for season 4. Again, we're delving back into the murky history of myself and Tom as stand-up comedians, ragabouts, and vagabonds. And along the way, Tom, we've picked up a couple of dents, nicks, and knocks along the way. You don't get to our age without a few scars to talk about. We've been troubled, we've been sickened, we've been sore. And we are not going to keep these stories to ourselves. And that's why we have a new segment called What Ails Ya?
It's nothing. Barely a flesh wound. On your feet, old man.
What ails ya?
Every week, we're going to talk about what has ailed us in the past, Tom. I fucking can't wait to hear.
Ails ya now.
What barbed wire surgery you've gone through in your life.
I could actually, you can see this is for just purely Jerry, but right now you see that split right there. This isn't worthy of a full story on any segment, but you can see that split there.
I can indeed, Tom.
That was stitched. The reason why I have such a wide scar there is I was stitched with the same wire you would stitch bovines with by a vet. It was possibly one of those girls that was at the fucking. I got split open like a
and folks, it goes to show how gnarly this segment is going to be. That Tom's throwaway line at the start of it is like, "There's where my face was stitched up by a vet."
Yeah,
we're throwing that one away for nothing.
I want to set the scene.
This is perhaps not going to be for the squeamish among you, but we're gonna bring it to you in that old fashioned Tom and Jerry style. So this is gonna be real good, Tom. I can't wait to hear what ailed you, pal.
I have been lucky, but with actual ailments that are coming, very rarely the Irish man, the Irish woman too, are brutal for, we don't have the mechanism when it comes to actually saying there's something fucking wrong with it. So it takes a good slap or a good fucking injury, really. I mean, truth be told, if we're from another place, we'd probably whinge about fucking stuff all day long. But typically, we're not the hypochondriacs, unless you're that way inclined. But for the most part, people don't. And I was trying to think back, well, will I mention this? Will I mention that time I got a cauliflower ear and the guy had to drain it with a leech? I don't know how interesting that is, but maybe it might make a side entry. I don't know if I've got a full story. Genuinely, will I get a full story out of it? But I was trying to think back, and you were giving me the rundown of what you said, what the vibe of what it should be, and maybe fucking crackpot kind of stuff. And you may or may not know this, listeners, but I am from an agricultural background of sorts. Go back and listen to the Hit the Diff episode if you're in any fucking doubt of that. And I used to work on a pig farm.
Okay.
I used to work on a pig farm. Now you're 17, 18 years of age. You're bulletproof. Nothing fucking hurts you. You can fucking anything. Hey, shoot me. Go on, give a go at shooting me. I bet I'll fucking get up. But every week, we were jumping off things, we were leaping off things, we were throwing things. Nothing seemed to fucking hurt. No doubt I was compounding all sorts of injuries which I didn't realize I was doing at the time. And these pigs were getting sent to market. They were being sent up along a ramp, a purpose-built ramp made out of concrete. It goes up about 7 foot high, the height of the back of a fucking trailer.
I know the one.
If anybody's wondering,
how do you get a pig onto a trailer?
Or where the rashers on their pan came from. This is where they originate.
Yeah, well, Tom, when you say you glossed over it there, you say, I worked on a pig farm. You didn't do the accounts.
No. And that's been the show, everybody. Thank you very much. Jerry McBride hit the nail on the fucking head there. Exactly.
You didn't work in HR.
To be fair, I don't think anybody thought I was part of the Sports and Social Club either, Jerry. I think genuinely, everybody was pretty much on point. They were pretty much on point up until that stage. So, guys, are we all okay with this going forward? No, we're going to dive on the end of the week. And
make blue sky thinking, guys.
This is blue sky. Just pushing it. Guys, we're just trying to push the envelope, Can we just unbox some of this? Tell me what this looks like.
So your role was more along the movement of pigs from point A to point B.
Feed them, get them big, get them in a truck. That's after that. Eat, sleep, repeat. That was pretty much it. Monday was the selling day. They all went in the truck. And like every other Monday, these pigs would go onto the truck, close the truck door, goodbye, thank you, back to my job.
I do like the loading ramp, Tom. I always a loading ramp is a thing of beauty for me. It was where you had a problem and you needed a solution, and you say, well, fuck it, here it is. You needed to get pigs onto the back of a trailer.
Yeah.
And could you forklift them pig by pig onto the trailer? I mean, you probably could. Could you manually lift them onto the trailer? You probably could. But the handiest thing to do was to build a concrete ramp from ground up that the trailer backed up against, and the pigs walked up it and they walked in.
Well, the idea being, I suppose, too, you get to a certain point where you're going, hey, lads, we're going to be doing this for a while, so maybe we should build something that isn't, a pain in the bollocks. Yeah. Maybe, because
I love things that are just simple and work.
It takes commitment. It takes commitment to build, because there's a lot of fucking construction in building one of these fucking things and getting it up 7 foot high.
But when it's built, it's built.
When it's built, it's built. That's it. The apocalypse will happen and that thing will still be fucking there. And as the necromancers in their masked up fucking gear as they walk across the ashen plains.
The charred earth.
The
ramp remains.
They'll be able to tell, the childlings that are walking with them what that ramp did. But this one particular Monday, different than any other, but I've been doing shit like this my whole fucking life, jumping off things that I shouldn't have been jumping off. And I jumped off the edge of the ramp. Because I didn't want to go back the way. No, which would have taken me all of 4 seconds to walk down the ramp and walk around it. I wanted to continue in the direction the truck was going because that's where the other point of my job was going to be, just across the yard. So I jumped off. Now, needless to say, I wasn't wearing a pair of fucking Nike Air Max.
You weren't wearing a pair of Carhartt designer, Carhartt ex-Converse designer.
No, I was not. I was wearing a pair of fucking Dunlop wellies, I can tell you, and they doth not have much in the way of fucking bounce.
Well, wellies are great. Wellies are just like fucking, you're not wearing the fashion wellies that walk into Electric Picnic or anything like that, Tom.
No,
you're wearing a thick rubber Johnny on your feet.
Yeah, quite literally, it has no purpose other than keeping shit off your skin. That's it. Brilliant. Keeping shit off your skin.
Single purpose. I love it.
Oh, nothing else. They have no other role in their life. They come out of the factory somewhere, I'm guessing in Taiwan, and they go on feet of lads in Ireland and girls in Ireland, and that's it. Shit off your skin. That's it. They don't ever look good. Never.
So you jump off this ramp, Tom, and
yeah.
So there's a point in midair here that I'm a little worried about.
No, there's nothing. I had jumped off this ramp on several occasions, and we're talking some fucking parkour shit. I mean, I would jump off this thing and my feet would be softly pedaling in the air and I would hit the ground and just a little bit of dust would rise and I'd fucking walk on. Cool.
There's nothing like the movement you have when you're a young fella and you just don't fucking care. It brings to mind a place I used to work that had a steel staircase that went it was 14 steps down, so it was maybe 22 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the see-through steel steps, you know them, Tom.
Yeah.
And I discovered one day that the boots I was wearing were worn so slick that if I put my foot on the rail to the right of the staircase, I could just slide on one foot the whole way down. If I pulled the sleeve of my jumper up and held the handrail on the left-hand side and put my right boot on the other side, I could just the whole way down. And I never fucking went down those stairs any other way, Tom, other than that.
You stuck the landing 10 points every time. Every time.
I loved it. If I tried to do it right now, I would crumble to dust.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
this is 20 years ago.
And that's where the shock hit me, because more than anything, I'd done this 100 fucking times and nothing had ever. Never. I jumped off everything and never had hurt myself.
No.
Sure, I was compounding it, probably a lot of fucking damage, but I wasn't fucking keeping an eye on that bank of pain. Fuck
That's
that.
40-year-old Tom's problem.
Yeah, not 18-year-old. Sorry, 17-year-old Tom's problem. But what?
But this one.
Go tubbing. I hit the deck and a shockwave went up my spine that managed to rupture, which I didn't know what was after happening at the time. As I creased in pain, I ruptured 2 discs. There's no such thing as a slip disc, by the way. There's no such thing.
No, there's not. Yeah, slip disc is no.
You're fucking. Those discs ain't fucking slipping. it's the synovial fluid from inside and around them bursts out every so often and pushes on the nerve, the spinal nerve.
So when I say, Tom, this is not where I thought this story was going, because you had made mention of your wellies. So, this is Chekhov's rifle. If you mention a rifle in Act 1, you must fire it in Act 3. Otherwise, why did you mention it?
I think you brought it up in some which way, what footwear.
No, you were the one that you said you were wearing wellies. And I was like, this motherfucker's landing on a nail.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, Tom is getting pierced on a spike here.
I stepped on more fucking nails, man. That's not... I didn't even think to bring that up as a story.
Because I'm here going it's a little bit disappointing because I've stood on a nail as well. I'm sure I'm like you, Tom.
Sorry, you want me to create fucking relatable content now? Is that what you're
You're like me, Tom. I can guarantee you, both you and I have all 4 points of stigmata on our body.
How many times have you
was like slash palm open on that one, slash that palm open on something other, pierce that foot.
How many? You have to ask them how you should be able to judge a person is how many times they've gotten a tetanus shot throughout their life. Because you'll get 5 years. You'll get 5 years from a good shot. Most of the time, you'll get 5 years from a good shot.
If I remember my health and safety course correctly, Tom, you squashed the jelly out of your donut, didn't you, Paul?
That's exactly what I did. I squashed the jelly out of 2 donuts. One at the top, one at the bottom.
How the fuck did that happen?
It was it was a freak landing because I've been told that the way I did it is near impossible to do it at my age. And everything else seemed strong around the whole situation. So
17-year-old Tom fails to stick the landing.
Fails to stick the landing. This fucking, we're talking 2 hot knives going and jiggle them around on against your spine. Grating. That's what you feel when you're lying sideways on the fucking ground. Could not get up. Got to my knees roughly. Because there's also that shame that comes over you. You're like, I don't want anybody to see this. I made a bitch of myself fucking sticking that landing. Fuck that. Right, get up. Shake it off, you bitch.
Walk off.
No fucking way. There was no walking this off. And I genuinely, I'd love to honestly say I got driven home. Somebody collected me. I can't remember because typically I would cycle to the fucking thing. Shock hadn't covered this. But skipping all that, that's not really important. What's important is there was a thing, and I don't know anywhere else in the country where it famed for, maybe we had fucking bad joints or something in County Tipperary, but there was more fucking bone setters of various sorts.
Bone setters,
and then none of them with any medical training whatsoever. But there was there's the RT archives. You'll see stories, and there was a couple in Cork as well, where these blokes who were just
bone setter,
who had the most fucking bear-like fingers, would just go, I just know the body, and should I just, I just throw it back together? And they were putting people back together who'd fucking fallen into wells, who'd gotten into fight with bulls. But I got brought to this, I don't know how this dude was making a fucking living, but he was stealing it. He was fucking stealing it. The old man had heard tell of this bloke back in, I can't really say the name because he's probably fucking still practicing.
Yeah.
On the Limerick-Tipperary border. And he's in the middle of nowhere. He's a farmer, right?
No, stay down.
And he has... And there's a queue. There's a fucking queue. I'm sitting in the front of my old man's fucking Opel Kadett at the time, and I'm fucked. I'm like, are you joking me? We're going to a fucking farm to fix me. I said,
bone setter.
Yeah.
Jesus, Tom. Because I've heard some fucking witch doctor shit in my time. I've never heard of a bone setter.
It even gets more interesting, Jerry.
Hit me.
Because this guy... I don't know had he fucking learned on badgers or where the fuck he learned his shit from. Because, okay, you could say, okay, a guy did a bit of a chiropractic course or he did a bit of fucking physiotherapy course. This guy learned this shit somewhere in the fucking Amazon. This guy, right? This first guy, because we went to fucking 2. Went to this
first guy didn't get it.
First guy we go to, there's a queue of people, right? There's a queue of people on like a Tuesday, fucking Monday or Tuesday night. Monday night. Queue of people. And they're all going in. And it's an open-sided barn they're walking into.
Right.
There's a load of turf. And this guy has a chair there. And I'm not really paying attention because I'm fucking crippled. And by the time I get up there, he's like, hey, Tramacha. I says, well, I jumped off this thing and I explained the whole story. I went, all right, we'll have a feelie or so. And I went, off with the shirt there. So I'm lying fucking crooked on the seat. And you're expecting, like a doctor to fucking touch. No, this guy had this weird method where he took out a wire The same sort of wire that would be like electrical fencing wire. Thick, rigid fucking wire.
Yeah.
And started running it down along my spine. And he was trying to count the vertebrae.
Right.
And see where the fucking indentations were. Because this guy actually thought that discs slipped.
Right. And where one was slipped out.
And I'm like, you're not going to find it, pal. You're not going to fucking find anything. You got to feel in there. I knew at that stage that it was only a small bit of jelly had poked out of the donut. I was poking against the nerve. You're going to see a big fucking, like, stegosaurus fucking thing sticking out.
Yeah, fucking, yeah.
So he plays around with my shit anyway, and it's only fucking worse is all I get with the guy. I'm like, you fucking joke me. And in fairness, the old man would normally go, pipe down, will you?
I got the ass off, Tom.
But in fairness, he didn't. He went, all right, I don't think that's working. But the guy still wanted 60 fucking quid. I remember that, 60 quid? Yeah, 60
back then.
60 fucking quid he wanted. Way above fucking doctor's rates.
Fucking money and bone setting, Tom.
So we go further afield, and we end up, and I will say where this man is, because this guy is a fucking genius. But he specialised in greyhounds.
Tom,
as you know, Jerry, that's where all good doctors start. On fucking greyhounds first.
And let me ask you a question: Is this the day of the injury?
No, this is the next day, because we couldn't get to this guy. So the next day we get over to this guy.
Bastard. So you had to fucking just basically lie up at home.
Oh, like all the old methods, like they were like, lie on the floor. Go put a sheet of timber under the bed. Like, could somebody just fucking talk to us? Can we go to a doctor? Or I'm not asking for much here, but Jesus Christ. So we find this guy, and he's kind of famed and all the rest of it. He's worked on horses. He's actually big news in the equine world as well as greyhounds.
Right.
And he's over near the premium stud farm. He's actually set up shop across Arabian horses and everything this guy worked on. He got them right. And humans were just kind of a folly. Now, this guy with his wire basically fucking pulling the dragon out of me, wasting my time the night before. I crawled into this guy's office. Literally, I was in that level of pain.
Yeah.
And his first look, as I was on the ground, he went, what the fuck did you jump off of?
They know, don't they, Tom?
He fucking knew. He weighed up all the things. He went, you're 17. You have the head of a fucking lunatic. You probably smell a bit like a pig farm.
And that's a fucking squash donut if I've ever seen one.
If ever I've seen one. And he explained what it was. He said, this is no magic, this is bullshit. And I talked about the guy with the wire, and he's that guy still doing that shit, is he?
Still with the wire, that guy.
And I was still doing the fucking wire thing. That's not that fucking bullshit. He goes, look, there's nothing. I'm not about to reset your bone. Yes, if you came in here with a dislocated shoulder, I'd definitely be able to put that in. And that is bone setting.
That's Martin Riggs.
That's Martin Riggs. I smash you off the fucking door frame. Get you sorted.
Right as ninepence.
But this is going to take just a little bit of movement. Lie on your side there. Show me your leg. Twirl it round. One push. And all he did, he goes, all I'm doing is pushing the jelly away off the nerve. But I mean, Jerry, we're talking one click. That was it. Second click with the up around the top bit with my shoulder. Bang, done.
God damn, Tom.
He said, just don't jump off any shit for 6 weeks. Give me 20 quid.
And that was it.
And that was it. Walked back out the fucking door right as rain. Never had an ounce of back problems. Apparently the man is dead since, but his son has taken over the business. He was gifted. And I know chiropractors and bone setters do get a bit of a fucking hokey name, but...
like even like they know that's what stuck with me with that one, Tom. That's a fucking incredible story. Jesus Christ. They know. I went to one physio when I was a young fella and I had like a sore shoulder, which I fucking brought upon myself, and it was no amount of yoking and chucking and stretching and all this kind of thing would do it. And I walked into him and I goes again in his house, and he took a look at me. And I says, "Come here, I'll tell you what it is." He goes, "Yeah, I can see it. It's there on your right hand side. It's your shoulder." I goes, "Well, yeah, it is. How'd you know?" He goes, "Well, yeah, that's what I'm here for, you know." And he just went like fucking Dr. Spock style and like squeezed something and went and turned. And he goes, "There you go. It's that simple." Just what he says, I could tell by looking at you that your one shoulder was higher than the other or further back, or you were holding it a certain way. And he knew that was like one muscle had twisted a little bit or flapped over the other or whatever the fuck it was, Tom. I didn't know what it was, but he just went clunk. And 20 quid for the sake of giving him something. There's 20 quid.
Damn right.
And that was it. You know, the fucking no. I never went to a goddamn bone setter, Tom.
Well, that's
amazing.
That's what these guys. Yeah. There's a couple of them still knocking about, but you won't find them in the yellow pages, if you know what I mean. You need to know a man that knows a woman who once fucking went to him.
And like, you know, at what point were you going to be brought to a doctor?
Do you know what? I need to
probably not.
I need to recount this story again with my parents, because they're not complete fucking, you know,
no.
Georgia Hills fucking blue fucking grass hillbillies. They definitely. Maybe my brain is completely clouded with the amount of fucking pain I was in, but there would have been talk of a doctor somewhere in there. But to be fair, all the doctor would have done was say...
I'll accept this story, Tom, if you jumped off the thing at like fucking 5 o'clock of a Friday evening and it was going to be not till the next Monday. But you started this story by saying it was a Monday.
Oh, no, there was definitely options. There was definitely options out there.
It was a working week, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah. So I need to actually fucking follow up on this story. I bet I was brought to a fucking doctor, and the doctor went, "You want some painkillers? There's nothing I can do with that shit, because, you know, it's not my shit. And there's not...
It ain't it.
There's not a lot I can do with it.
Jesus,
you know,
I don't
lie
know.
on a board.
I had back pain when I was like a couple of years ago. I had back pain and I went to like a physio to see, you know, will I ever walk again? He's like, well, you fucking walk in here, dipshit.
Stop your bitching.
Yeah, fucking lose 2 stone and you'll be grand. Get out of here. Do these stretches twice a day. Get out of here. Quit wasting my fucking time. I got real people I need to see.
Yeah, mine was a straight up impact. I wasn't carrying any timber at the time, so it was...
Jesus.
Yeah, crawled in, walked out. There you go. That is what ails me.
That is what ails you. Well, Tom, I gotta tell you, I'm looking forward to stories like that, because I love a story that I can lean into, Tom.
I've got more fucked up ones. I love it. The more I think about it, I might even tell you the leech story just as a fucking side note. Tell you, what it feels like.
Hang on, I think I got a story that'll lead into that one just now. Oh, fucking hell, Tom! It's good to be back, Paul.
Good to be back. That has been
tell the people where it'll get us.
That has been episode 1. You know what to do. Follow us on all the usual platforms. Of course, Jerry is huge on all platforms. He's the best hype guy I know. He is at Jerry McBride on Twitter and Instagram as well, Jerry.
Yeah, you can get me at Jerry McBride on Instagram as well if you want to see things that I've posted on Twitter already. And you can get Tom on Twitter at Tom_O'Mahony, and you can also get him on Twitter at Tom_O'Mahony, and on Instagram at, what is he again, Tom?
Tom O'Mahony Comedy. Tom O'Mahony Comedy will actually find it if you go looking anywhere. Typically on Twitter, I'm not as good as Jerry on Twitter, but if you want to follow the podcast, we have a Twitter page following.
Absolutely, it's at Tom and Jerry Show on Twitter. It's very useful. It's been somewhat dormant over the last 4 years
as a direct result of us doing fuck all. But we will post those pictures of the Carhartt gear we were talking about. If you want to join in with any stories that you have fucking had, whether it be awkward moments in front of local crowds, or you have some ailments, or you've got some gears that need grinding, absolutely lay it down to us.
Head us with us. We're gonna take a look at it throughout the whole season. And also, what Tom, you're more in this podcast and crack than I am. Leave a review. That's a thing, right?
Leave a review. You got to leave a review. Now you can do this on some of the podcast apps. For the most part, it's only Apple Podcasts. And what it does, if you leave us a review, give us the 5 stars. If you don't want to write anything, don't worry. Just give us 5 stars. Don't want none of that 4 stars, 3 star, 2 star bullshit. It's not like we're going to learn anything from this. It's 5 stars or nothing. Hang on to them. Keep them in your pocket unless it's 5 fucking stars. Write us a little review as well, because what it does is it allows more people, it makes it more visual to more people on the podcast. And the more people that listen, the fucking more fun these things are going to be. Also, myself and Jerry are going to crown a winner at the end of season 4 for the best review, funniest review. So get creative on the Apple Podcasts.
Absolutely. And I don't care if your review is that you fucking hate us and that we suck, as long as it is still 5 stars.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
5 stars, but here's some feedback.
Well, still to this day, Jerry, and I told you about this before, one of the best reviews I've ever gotten for Buckshot was written on a great podcast, Hey for Sale, and the man's fucking phone number. I mean, delicious.
That's the bar, folks. That's the bar.
That's where we need to be at. You know what to do. Hit subscribe. If you don't want to do any of those things, at least tell somebody about the show. We'll be putting it up on Twitter and not. Share it. Retweet it. You know what? The more love we get, the more love we'll give back.
1 in the can, pal. Look at that.
1 in the can. Jerry.
Tom. Take care, everybody.